Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Mindset Matters, where we explore the often overlooked world of mental health and athletics, as well as the downfalls and triumphs of being an athlete. So in today's episode, we will be discussing why goal setting and having something to work towards is so important for your mental state, as well as why it increases your performance. So in my opinion, there's ups and downs, as well as bad and good periods of time throughout your sport, and I think a lot of it is based off of your current passion and motivation. As humans, we're not always going to be motivated, and a lot of what we do is based off discipline and pushing ourselves. Like, there's not always a reason to wake up, there's not always a reason to go work out, or read, or journal, or do what are considered good habits. And I think a lot of what we do as being a part of human nature is looking for something to motivate us and having a reason to do something. And that's actually one of the key points of this episode, is having a reason to do something. So with that being said, we're going to be talking about why goal setting is so important and how it will help you overall. Firstly, as simple as it may sound, goal setting actually produces motivation. When you have something to work towards, there is a reason, like mentioned. There's a reason you're doing what you're doing, and there's a purpose behind it. If you're someone who just mindlessly goes throughout their day or just goes through the motions and whatever, and I mean specifically about sport on this podcast, what's the point? If you see there's no area to improve and no area to better yourself, and you have no goal set, what really is the point? And I'm not bashing anyone who just does working out for fitness or does sport for fitness, because that's completely different. But on an athlete's perspective, when you have goals set and achievements you're trying to go for, it gives you not only mental but physical strength to stay consistent and work harder every day. Like, I see a goal as something you can devote all of your attention and effort to, but also it's allowing you to do this in an enthusiastic way, and you have motives behind it. It's simply like climbing a ladder, really. You have the top where you're trying to get to, and you're constantly climbing it, but it's not like you're climbing a ladder that's flat on the ground. It's going up, and you're getting closer and closer to your goal every day. And once you reach this goal, or multiple goals, you really do see a new version of yourself that you didn't see maybe a couple months ago or a year ago, even years. But leading into my next point is this is actually a way to measure your progress. And trust me, as someone who never really pauses and looks back or takes in their progress, it actually ties into your motivation regarding seeing how far you've come. But looking back on your progress and improvements is something that no one can take away from you, and at that point, you have no choice but to compare yourself with yourself and no one else. You know, you're not looking at your neighbor's skill that they didn't perfect a couple months back, and you're just looking at yourself, and there's no one else to compare except you. But this is actually very beneficial for you to see, because there may have been a time where 10 push-ups seemed like a lot or was a struggle, but now maybe 25 is just what you do, and over time you don't really remember or see where that change was. So essentially, sometimes reflecting and looking back on what you've done and all the progress you've made can really excite and motivate you to see how much further you can go. Because I'm sure it's very relatable that once you reach a goal or something you've wanted to achieve, there's not a lot of absorption, and you're ready to just jump at what's next and how to get there. So next, this transitions into needing focus. Say you had an arrow, what would be your target? And if you had one, why did you originally aim it there? As harsh as this may sound, no matter how talented or how much potential you have, your skill set and tools are useless without focus. So diving deeper into that, you could have the most expensive and amazing toolbox in the world, but what happens if you don't know how to use it or what to do with them? Like, what's the point? And this is also something known as wasted potential. Someone with wasted potential has all these skills and abilities, but fails to fully develop them to their fullest extent. So, my point is guiding yourself and your thoughts towards a target as well as hitting it rather than aimlessly shooting, which this will allow you to accomplish your objective. Goal setting can also overall better yourself. I think as an athlete, we're on a constant path of proving ourselves and always trying to better ourselves, which can cause pressure but also allow you to improve. And if you do that a lot, you will improve on a quicker scale. But don't overdo it. That's not my point here. So having goals and bettering / alternating yourself to achieve them, as well as the change that happens when you achieve them, humbly I should say, can show you a side of yourself that you didn't know you had. Working towards something and failing, because trust me when I say progress is not linear, shows you more about yourself and your persona and gives you character development. And character development is how you become a better athlete and helps your performance overall. Character development in this perspective is how you allow the bad and good things to shape you and allow how others perceive you. It can go both ways because, for example, if you let a lot of success that's happened to you get to your head and allow you to be a different person and not be the best towards other people, then it doesn't look that good that it all happened to you. At the same time, if you're someone who's a sore loser and you don't allow the bad things that have happened to you be taken in as learning lessons and you don't allow them to teach you and guide you, then that's also not good. So overall, having goals are the source of the inspiration and purpose that we have in our life on a daily, but keeping these goals and constantly adding more / reaching for more and seeing how far you've come is vital to your athletic journey and gives you a reason to constantly get better and work towards what you want. So I tried keeping this episode a bit shorter, as I know listening to podcasts for a long time can be a challenge sometimes. So if there's anything you've taken away from this episode is obviously to set goals and set ways to motivate yourself, because motivation isn't just there for you to have and doesn't come easy. So I will catch you guys in the next episode, but in the meantime, love yourself and accept yourself.